Hi, my name is Emha and I'm Hi, my name is Emha. Recently, I've just started my PhD program at NTU Singapore, and some of my friends contacted me asking about what scholarship I got and the process of getting the scholarship. So, in this video, I will try to share about it. Not only the basic information, which most of them are available online, I will also try to share the timeline and also the small details that I think helped me smoothen my way to get the scholarship. And I think not specific to my scholarship, you can also apply it to pursue your other scholarship. Alright, let's get started. First, what scholarship? There are several scholarships for graduate students at NTU. You can just visit their website, which I will include in the description below. Basically, they have three scholarships that offered by NTU. The first is Nanyang President's Graduate Scholarship, and then the second is NTU Research Scholarship, and then the third is SINGA or Singapore International Graduate Award. And also there are other scholarships from other entities, and some of them they have their specific major or field that you can apply for. And for me, which scholarship did I apply? I applied for SINGA scholarship here. Step number 1, read all the basic information. For every scholarship, I believe you can find the basic information in their landing page. If you really want to apply for the scholarship, then don't be lazy, just make sure to read all of this information, including the SINGA scholarship. First, they give the information on the deadlines for the application. There are twice a year. It is December the 1st for the August intake and June the 1st for the January intake. And then in the research area, they give you the links to find what research projects are available and the list of professors who can be your potential supervisor. Later in the application, you are required to indicate your choice of the research topic and also choice of supervisor. So for me, what I did was, because I already have my topic of preferences, I started to list it up all the professors that have this research topic I want to study. I started by collecting their profiles, their website of the lab, their emails, how their publication, like their H index, etc. And also I had a glance at who are the current members of the lab from their website. And if they have some photos in their website, for example, then we can make a guess on what is the atmospheric nuance of their lab. Alright, back to the SINGA landing page here. In the eligibility, you can check whether you are eligible or not. And in the coverage, you can check what will be covered by this scholarship. For SINGA scholarship, they cover tuition fees, monthly stipend, airfare grant, and also one-time settling in allowance. And then there is the application procedure here. Pretty details and self-explanatory, so make sure to double or triple check it. Here are the documents you need to prepare. First, you need to prepare passport, photos, and then transcript and report of your bachelor or master degree with English translations. And then you're gonna need also 2 recommendation letters from your former supervisors. And then depending on which university you apply, you will also need GRA. And in my case, I applied to NTU so that the GRA is not required at the time of the scholarship application. And you also notice here that it is written that you may be requested by the university to submit the GRA. And also the IELTS and TOEFL. It also may be requested later. So those are the required documents that are written in this page. But actually, there are also several things that you need to prepare, and it is not written in here. You will find them only when you start to register account for the application. So make sure to register an account as soon as possible to see what's inside the application form. And here are the spoilers. You will need to submit first career aspiration essays with maximum of 3,000 words. And then second is research project experience, which also 3,000 words. And also essays about why do you think you deserve the scholarship with maximum of 500 words. These three here, you don't need to submit the documents, but you have to type it down in the application. So obviously, in practical, you're gonna need them somewhere in your computer so that you can just copy and paste them. Alright, then back to the website here. I found that it is also quite useful to check the FAQs here. So make sure to check it. Alright, step number 2, contacting professors. After checking all the information on the website, for me, the next step is to contact your future supervisors. It is not written anywhere in the website that you have to contact the supervisor, but I believe that finding the right supervisors is very important in postgraduate study. So as I mentioned before, I gather the list of potential supervisors and narrow it down to 1 or 2 names and then send them email asking to meet them online. The email is basically contains an introduction, what I'm interested in, and asking to be supervised as a PhD student. The key here is to appeal yourself in short email to catch their attention. Here is the example of my email to the professor. I also attach a motivation letter and a CV files to explain and appeal beyond what is written in the email, with the hope that they will read it, and I believe they can be additional points to your seriousness. After several days, I received a reply from the professor inviting me to have a Zoom call and asked me to introduce my previous research. So I prepared for it, and then we had a Zoom call. In the Zoom call, I was presenting my previous work using PowerPoint, followed by some casual conversation. I used this opportunity to first understand the research topic they have. Is it within the scope of my preference or not? And then secondly, I also want to know what is the requirement for me to graduate, like how many papers we need to publish, etc. It is good to know this before you start your study, right? And then third, I also want to know the working style of their lab. Do they have like a core time or regular meetings, etc. Number 4 is to understand their preference of what kind of student they are looking for, their expectation toward student, basically. The Zoom call went smoothly, but then in the end of the conversation, the professor suddenly asked me to make 3 to 4 pages of review articles on some related topics, which has to be submitted to him a week after the Zoom meeting. What a surprise. But I made it, and then I submit to them. And after I submitted my essay, the professor said that they welcome me to apply for the scholarship with him as a supervisor. Whether to accept it or not, he will look further into the application documents and also the recommendation letters from my previous supervisors. Step number 3 is to apply for it. This step is pretty straightforward, right? We know the deadlines and we have read all of the requirements. All we need to do is just preparing all the documents and then submit it one by one, right? And you might need to take exams such as GRE or TOEFL, well, depending on the faculty or the scholarship you apply. But then, when you're ready, you go to this login page here and just fill it out. As I mentioned before, you need to register before you can log in. So I recommend you to register as early as possible so you can see what is inside the application form. Alright, then just fill it out and then submit it. In my case, I clicked the submit button on November 16th and I got this kind of confirmation email. Since I will also need 2 recommendation letters from my previous supervisors, I also started to email them asking for their help with the recommendation letter so that they're ready when the time is come. Regarding this, you can always let them write what they want to write about us. But in my case, I give them some suggestions on which side of me I want them to review. This is because back in my interview with the professor, I kind of grasp what they concern about students they want to take, such as the independency of doing research with only minimum supervision, the creativity in tackling problems, etc. Although I still do not know what their recommendation letters look like, but I believe if they write about those stuff, then it could be a bingo toward professors' requirements. That's a piece of advice from me. Alright, step number 4, interview. If you're lucky, then you can step up to this step. After the submission deadline on December 1st, I then wait for 3 months to get the invitation for the interview. I received the invitation email on March 2nd asking me whether I was available for interview on the next day, March the 3rd. I said yes, and I was interviewed by one of the NTU professor from Material Science and Engineering. The content of the interview was pretty standard. The question was based on what I wrote in the application, mostly in the essays part. He asked me about my background, my previous research, my plan for PhD, and also the plan after PhD. The overall interview was friendly, more like casual conversation, which lasted around 30 minutes. And regarding how many interviews we have to take, some people on the internet says that they take 2 interviews, including friends of mine who did one informal interviews with the supervisor after he submitted the application, and one formal interview with 3 board members of the scholarship. I still don't know why I got lucky with only 1 interview, but yeah, I did one casual online meeting with the professor before I submit the application. Number 5, getting the result. On the same day of my interview, several hours after the interview, I received the email that asked me to also submit the application to NTU application portal. A bit confusing, but what I was submitting on November was the SINGA application portal, right? So then I also need to submit it to the NTU application portal. And then a month after I did the interview and submit the application to NTU, on April 8th, I received the email that offered me admission into NTU and offered me the NTU Research Scholarship. Wait, what? NTU Research Scholarship? But I applied for a single scholarship, right? Yeah. But then on the April 14th, I also received another email that offers me the SINGA scholarship. So I was confused which one I got, the research scholarship or SINGA scholarship. But anyway, I was so delighted. I got the PhD offer from NTU and also got the scholarships offer. So I moved forward, I signed the scholarship offer from SINGA, and here I am. Alright, that was my experience in applying for PhD and the scholarship at NTU. Thank you for watching, and feel free to reach me if you have any question. See you in the next video.